Hi guys, if you're here. And so in today's video, we are going to be talking about this. We did a poll on Twitter, and what was it about? It was, what do you expect from the NGX for the month of December? And guess what? We had 56% of people being optimistic, and then 9% being pessimistic, and 35% being indifferent. They couldn't be bothered. They can't be bothered what happens with the Nigerian stock market, or maybe they have been burnt and are just indifferent. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But before then, please don't forget to follow me on my socials on TradingView. We are at 890 followers. Move this to 1000. Also on Twitter, I'm at 565 thereabouts. Let's move that to 1000. And if you're interested in this, the intelligent portfolio builder for the Nigerian stock market, make sure that once you click on this link, you click on here, it takes you to my offerings, and part of the offering is this one, to join the wait list, so that as soon as we are completed that, you can be a part of that. Very excited about that. And so we just have to wait and see how we build that up. So make sure you are on this waiting list for when this is ready to be used. Okay, so we're just going to go straight into it. Am I optimistic or am I pessimistic? I'm actually quite optimistic, but I'm optimistic about certain indexes. I'm optimistic about certain sectors in the Nigerian stock market. I'm not optimistic about all the sectors. I'm just optimistic about some of the sectors. Let me show you what I mean. So let's look at the all share index. Now, the all share index literally monitors what is going on the entirety of the share market. And you can see we peaked in August, right? So there are some shares that peaked in August, and we also peaked in October. So the shares I'm going to be interested in are going to be the ones that maybe peaked in August, have retraced, or peaked in October and have retraced. Those are the ones we're going to talk about 5 of them. We're going to talk about those ones. But before then, let's look at some of the sectors I am optimistic about. So I'm optimistic about the industrial sector. The reason being that it peaked in October and you can see that it's retraced. So I think it did a retracement of about 15. So it peaked here and we have a retracement of about 15-16%, which is fantastic. You need retracements in the market. It's the show of it's a good show of a healthy market. So also we have the insurance sector. It peaked in August. There was a lot of hype over here, and so we had it all the way up to there. And look at that. For the insurance sector, we've lost about 35%. That's very, very drastic. Actually, much more than that. So if we take it from up here to here, it's almost 40%. So those are the ones. I mean, I'm very optimistic about industry. I'm optimistic about insurance. I'm also optimistic about banking. So banking also was rallying in August and has lost quite some. So I expect it to come back, at least back here. The other one I'm optimistic about is the oil and gas sector, and you can see nothing has really happened in the oil and gas. Actually, absolutely nothing has happened in the oil and gas sector, but it was a slight move from September to October, right? It has retraced. I'm expecting this has now become, this was a previous resistance here, now support. So I'm expecting the oil and gas between December and January to actually rally. I'm not so optimistic about the consumer goods. And the reason why I'm not optimistic about the consumer goods is because it has only rallied, it has not really retraced. Yes, it's done a little bit of a retracement, but I would prefer a deeper retracement. So let's just move into the 5 I'm optimistic for the month of December. So VFD group, you can see major drop from here all the way down here, more than 40%. So it's very low risk. I'm optimistic about VFD group. It has a chance to come back to where it was before. I'm also optimistic about OANDO, major drop if we're going to the all-time highs, from 83 all the way here, more than 50%. So it has an opportunity to go back up. This is this is actually International Energy Insurance, and it peaked in August, right? That was this peak over here at 4.5 naira per share, and currently it's at 2.3 naira per share, over 15%. So I expect that maybe it's possible that it can come back up here. Then there's JOHNHOLT. This is consumer service, and all-time high was pretty much last year, or if we're picking it from over here in July, August, this has retraced about 40%, 45%, and so you had the chance to go back to its all-time high. And this is Multiverse energy sector. It rallied in October, so it has a very fair chance to come back to where it was before and even go to higher prices. So we just have to wait and see. These are the 5 I'm optimistic about. I'm optimistic about FD Group. I'm optimistic about OANDO. I'm optimistic about this INTENEGINS. I'm optimistic about JOHNHOLT and MULTIVERSE for the month of December. Look at their prices. We're going to revisit these 5 at the end of December and see whether we have done well with them or not. All right, so I have to wait and see you in my next video. I'll see you in the very next one.